Hi, I'm Adam Meyer of Mill City Lutherie in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and the project for this video is going to be making a replacement bridge for this vintage Gibson LG1. Now, the interesting thing about this guitar is there was a time when Gibson tried using plastic bridges. They were screwed onto the top. It was trying a cost-saving measure, but they just did not hold up at all. I've done this on these particular models of guitars probably at least 10 times in my career. There isn't a replacement available. You have to make a new one. Now, this guitar in particular is the owner's grandfather owned it, and he wanted to keep this looking as close to original as possible. Black plastic bridge. I used ebony to keep the colors similar. Typically, Gibson uses rosewood bridges, but this time around, it's kind of a sentimental thing, keeping it, looking as close to original as possible. Original, obviously, is plastic. We can't do that, but that would be the reason I give the option to the customer. So let's get started.
This is what they look like when they show up in the shop. Obviously, that plastic bridge just is not going to hold up over time. If you look along the back edge there, you can see that somebody tried to put a little bit of glue underneath. But I'm going to get this taken off and let you see what it looks like underneath. Going to take a look at the top. If you notice, just off to the side of the two E bridge pins, you can tell that where the bolts are coming from the inside, there's a lot of pressure there. It's cracking. This just isn't good at all. And this is the underside of one of those infamous plastic bridges. There just really isn't anything to it. It's completely hollow. I understand wanting to try and speed up production and keep costs down, but man, this was just a big error on Gibson. Here you can see some of the glue that's been left on the top. That is what somebody tried to do to get the bridge to glue down to the top previously, but they must not have known what the story was with these guitars, because that just isn't going to work at all. You can also see the outline that the bridge makes on the top, which kind of convenient because making a new bridge, wood glue only glues wood to wood, so I have kind of an outline, and I'm going to have to remove all the finish there within the outline that was made previously. What you're looking at here is I put an inspection mirror inside the guitar through the sound hole, and I'm shining a light on it. Inside that mirror, you'll see 6 holes. That's the string holes, and there's light coming through. In between those, the wood is chipped away really bad. This piece of wood is a piece of spruce, so it's kind of soft, and when it's chipped away like that, it's just going to buckle under the string tension. So that piece of wood needs to get taken out. And as you can see here with the straight edge, this top is pretty bellied out, so we'll try and get some of that out at the same time. Here we have, I made a new bridge plate, and I took the pieces of the old bridge plate, put on top, kind of get an idea how big I need to make this. I'll be duplicating this size, cut it out to basically what this is, but when I was taking this out, there is a brace that goes along the back and a brace along the front because it's a ladder braced guitar, so I wasn't able to pull along the back side. I had to go along the 2 edges and basically just break it apart till I got it all out. So that's why it's in all these pieces. So I'll be cutting this out next, and I'll need to clean up the inside of the guitar, make sure there's no old glue still there, and I'll get it in place, and then it's time to start making the new bridge. I have the bridge plate all trimmed to size. I have some lines on here so I can tell when I'm putting it in that I've got it centered and in place. Just a little faint pencil line there. But the side that would be visible, even though it's inside of a guitar, this is pretty bright. What I'm going to do is I'm going to oxidize the wood just to make it look old. Even though this is obvious, the guitar's obviously being repaired,
I'm still going to try and make things look old, so it's not this really bright blonde piece of wood inside. So I'm going to use some potassium permanganate. It comes in these little granules. Mix it with some water. Hot water works better. And it ends up purple. I'm just going to use a little Q-tip to put it on, but when mixing it, you can see that it makes the wood turn a dark color. So I'm going to start brushing this on. Use gloves. Here is the result. You can see the piece I cut it out of and what I get in here. I did steel wool this as well, kind of give it a little grayness to it. I also deliberately left sanding marks in this because a guitar like this one, if you had any experience replacing braces or bridge plates, they're typically like saw marks and lines from the drum sander and stuff left in the instrument. So I'm just going to do the same. If this was like a really nice Martin D28 or something, I would sand this nice and smooth and kind of follow through with the theme of the instrument. And the theme of this instrument is we've got little marks left in it. So you can see what I got before and after. And just to kind of show you why, I wouldn't be able to get a mirror inside to show you, but you can see the brace there. I'll put this inside. See, that matches pretty well. Now, had I not done that, big color difference. So just a little step, took an extra 5 minutes, but this I think it's worth it. And another thing I'm going to note here is I would cut some dowel to fill in the screw holes where the plastic bridge was before. I'm going to have those glued in place at the same time as I glue in this bridge plate. So here's the new bridge glued into place. Now I have to establish where to route for the saddle. So I'm going to back up here, get the whole guitar into frame. Got a special tool for this. It's a little jig here. This part here fits over the 12th fret. This part up here has 2 pins in it, little needles. This one is adjusted back just a little bit. There's specific measurements here for the offset. The bass side will be back a little further. What you do is set this against the front edge of the nut, this over the 12th fret, like so. I've already adjusted to get that correct. Around the 12th fret, butt up against the nut. Then you flip it around, and where those pins are on the bridge, that will be the front edge of the saddle. So I'm going to put a piece of tape on here, mark where those pins touch, draw a line, mark my width. Then it's time to set up my saddle routing jig with the Dremel and actually route the slot.
Here's a close-up look. Almost looks original. Obviously it is not, but I've got very similar bridge pins, the original saddle. Looks really good.
All right, sounds pretty good. The intonation is pretty good on this. It has to do with getting it located as well as it is. It is the original saddle that came with the plastic bridge. It's kind of like a fiberglass material. It is just a straight saddle, no compensation. So the intonation is pretty good on this. That tool I use for that, it works out really well. So this project is complete. If you have any questions or an instrument like this or something from any of my other videos, my contact information is at the end of the video, and we'll see you next time.